Toastmasters is a platform where you can cultivate, that teaches you how to cultivate courage by not only embracing your strengths, but also your vulnerabilities. So that when you get out and when you start speaking in the real world and trying to impact lives, you're actually able to exude all of the qualities of a true leader.
There's little clubs that are going on all over the world in every city, every time of the day, helping people nurture their self-confidence, grow, develop their communication and leadership.
Every meeting you learn something new, and it's entertaining, it's fun, it's a learning opportunity.
It's a place to practice speaking. It's kind of like a gym for public speaking, if you will.
Each and every member in the organization I meet is positive. They are always there to encourage you, they're always there to guide you, to support you.
This is probably the best thing that you can do for your career. Communication, no matter what job you have, communication is key.
What has surprised me the most about joining Toastmasters was how it revealed things that I never thought I could do. I never thought I could write. I never thought I could speak in public. I never thought I could control my voice.
I realized that even though I joined Toastmasters to become a better communicator, that I've become an accidental leader.
Knowing that you have that power and ability to make other people better is really humbling, and it's very empowering at the same time.
Don't say no. Try it. Go to a meeting and spend the time to really appreciate what the meeting has to offer you, what Toastmasters has to offer.
I am able to see improvement in everything that I do. The more I do the roles, the more I do the speeches, I realize that I am better at what I'm doing. So that's why I keep coming back.
Good evening once again. Welcome to the Rotary E-Club of 3310 panel discussions. This is a platform we welcome people to engage fellow Rotarians as well as the public. Today's topic is striving and succeeding in COVID-19. And today's what we have here with us is that we have a wonderful panel from Toastmasters. But before I start to say something, I'd like to remind everybody that whatever we speak, we are expressing our personal opinion and not necessarily the organization that we represent. Ladies and gentlemen, my distinguished panels, my name is Before I forget, my name is Chew Ban-Seng. I'm the Charter President of Rotary E-Club of 3310. I'm a past district governor of Toastmasters International. I have a very distinguished group of people, and my first person that I'd like to introduce is Dr. Ernest Chen. Dr. Ernest Chen is the current district governor of District 80, and he's a real community service person. He served the community well and have received Public Service Award from the Singapore government, and perhaps Ernest would like to say a few more words about himself. Dr. Ernest, please.
Hello, good day to everybody. Thank you, Chew Ban-Seng, my good friend, who is the chairman of this panel discussion. Well, I can call myself a community service person because when I was in school, I was a monitor. I joined Boy Scout, I joined Boys Brigade, I joined Red Cross. When I was in the university, I became the president of Overseas Students Union and I'm actively involved in the student activity. And of course, being a Toastmasters, I really enjoy Toastmasters because it opened the horizon for me in terms of public speaking. So I've been a Toastmaster for 36 years. I really enjoy the journey. And I've been a YMCA board member. I'm YMCA CEO. I've been YMCA for also 30 over years. I'm still active in YMCA, but not now as a non-board members. I started the YMCA Toastmasters Club, English, and YMCA Toastmasters Mandarin chapter. I'm also a community leader in my area in Townsend. I serve the community center and the citizen consultative committee also for the last 30 over years. I've been a member of Apex Movement, which is a service organization, also for 20, 30 years. And now they call me a lifer in the Apex Movement. I enjoy giving my service to the country, to the organization. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ernest Chen, a true blue Singaporean. Thank you so much, Ban-Seng.
Thank you, Ernest. The next panelist comes from all the way from India. He's my good friend, Dr. Brillian S.K. He's a regional 13 advisor and a past district director. Brilliant, would you like to say something in addition to what I just said?
Thank you, Ban-Seng. It is indeed my honor and pleasure to be a part of this session, Thriving and Succeeding in COVID-19. I am excited to be here. I have been associated with the youth wing of Rotary, that is Rotaract, and served Rotaract as a young volunteer for almost 10 plus years. I ended my stint in Rotaract as the Deputy District Rotaract Representative. Since Rotaract, there was nothing left for me to do, so I was just idling around, and that's when my wife recommended Toastmasters to me, and for the last 10 plus years now, I've been a member of Toastmasters, enjoying it. Professionally, I work in the human resource function, and I'm excited to share with you that Toastmasters has benefited me a lot, both professionally and personally, wherein I take back learnings not just to my work, but also to people whom I work with, including students, including those who are not in a position to help themselves. I am a serial volunteer, I would like to call myself, while I do not associate myself with one specific NGO. I have been working with a lot of not-for-profits and non-governmental organizations to help people who need support, most probably in the area of development and uplifting the educational qualifications for people. It is indeed my honor and pleasure. Thank you, Ban-Seng, for inviting me to this session. Over to you.
Thank you, Brilliant. I'm really fortunate to have this gentleman to be able to be part of our panel. He comes all the way from New York, and New York is, of course, 12 hours different from Singapore time zone. His name is Mark LaVergne, and he's the past international director of Toastmasters International. And for some time, he has actually been very much involved in Rotary. So over to Mark to tell us a little bit more. Mark.
Well, thank you, Ban-Seng, and welcome to all of the participants here today who are dialing in from different countries, both from Rotary and from Toastmasters International. As you know, both Rotary and Toastmasters were founded by individuals who came from small town America. I come from small town America originally, and I remember as a boy the great power of Rotary in our communities. I grew up in New Hampshire, which is next door to Vermont, where Paul Harris grew up as a boy. So I know firsthand the power of Rotary in the lives of people, making good for people. I'm so excited by the alliance that has been brought into place since last year between Rotary International and Toastmasters International. I'm excited. I think it's already beginning to yield wonderful results, and it will yield great results in the years to come. And I thank you, Ban-Seng, for allowing me to be part of this. I represent New York. I'm from New York now. I've been in New York for 32 years, where I joined Toastmasters. My Toastmasters experience here is about living diversity and inclusion. New York is the capital of the world. Everyone comes to New York and they stay here. My county, Queens County, is the most diverse county in North America. Everyone is here, and our Toastmaster clubs reflect that. So we're looking forward to a great partnership, a great alliance between Rotary and Toastmasters. And I look forward to hearing your questions, finding out what your concerns are, and seeing how we can be of assistance to all of you today. Back to you, Ban-Seng.
Wow, Mark, that's a wonderful introduction and giving us Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ernest. Thank you, Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. The first, I'm going to basically talk about three things today. The three topics are: the first one, striving and succeeding in COVID-19. The second part is the challenges facing our membership in terms of retention and recruitment. And finally, to talk very much about the new alliance between Rotary and Toastmasters. COVID-19 have definitely been a black swan event. It came unexpectedly and lives have changed. And I think lives have changed so much that post-COVID, things will never get back to what it has been as we have known before. I think if we talk about what actually happened, most of us as Rotarian as well as Toastmasters, we like to meet physically, like to talk to each other, like to laugh, have a beer, and enjoy the personal company. But when COVID-19 struck us, there were lockdowns and circuit breakers and stuff like that. As a result, what actually happens? Many of us have ended up with nothing, no physical meeting, and we wonder whether life will continue as a Rotarian or as a Toastmasters if we don't have any meeting. But as we talk, we all know one thing: human beings always innovate. Necessity is the mother of all innovation. And as a result, we go from physical meeting, no meeting, and now all sort of meetings that we have on the using video conferencing tool. So my first question I'd like to ask is to address to Ernest Chen is how has from his own personal experience, how have he seen the development from Singapore point of view? Ernest Chen.
Thank you, Ban-Seng. Thriving and succeeding. In fact, in life, if you know what we are doing, if you know where we are going, if you know exactly what we should do, we should be able to thrive and succeed. But COVID-19 is like an atomic bomb. Suddenly it bombed, and then it was inferno. And not only that, the whole nation suffered, and the people around the area also suffered. So when COVID-19 came in, nobody were really prepared for it. We begin to learn some other phrases, social distancing. And then we learn about pandemic. And then we learn about circuit breaker. And then we learn about stay at home. We learn about lockdown. You see, COVID-19 has given us a new vocabulary in this environment. However, COVID-19 has also given personally to me something that I have never experienced before. I don't think I have ever experienced staying at home or staying in a place where you cannot really even communicate with other people, you cannot mix with other people for 2 months to 3 months. We are like in a prison. So we just reflect back, when a person is being put in prison, he should plan something to do, innovate, and learn some skill. In fact, many prisoners who were released from prison, they came out, they say that they learned some skill. But majority of them don't even know what skill is that and never learn anything. Like a very famous personality in America, Malcolm X, maybe Mark LaVergne will remember, the Negro guy. In fact, he learned it while he was in prison, how to speak, how to communicate. And when he came out from the prison, he was such a fantastic speaker. I watched his video, I read through his script. He was such a fantastic speaker, and he could speak so well and influence the people because he did not waste his time in prison. He followed and practiced the speeches. He could speak for hours without any script because he spoke from the heart. Well, for myself, I would say that the first week while experiencing COVID-19, I was trying, to clean up my office, to throw away some of the unnecessary stuff, to get rid of some of the old books and all those things, trying to pass the time. In fact, a week had passed by. Actually, what I've done, not so productive. But I'll start thinking, I should do something that's productive. Well, today I finished another new book. It is called How and Buy a Business. Read the book and you can become a successful business broker. Next month, I should be ready for editing and get the book out. If COVID-19 allowed me to travel through the printers and all those things, it can be done. Like COVID-19, we cannot have physical meeting, but we can have Zoom meeting. I learned about Zoom meeting. I learned about virtual meeting. And I begin to like it, though not as good as physical meeting, but we have no choice. So I see that in life, when you're pushed to the corner or on the brink of death, you have to do something to keep you alive. So that is the time where your innovation skill and your special skill come up and help you along. COVID-19 certainly is something unusual, but it will change our outlook in our life. You can improve, you can innovate, you can learn new skill, and don't waste time. Time and tide waits for no man. Time is very precious. We don't know whether we'll still be around tomorrow, next year, in a decade, or in another 20, 30 years. But while we can, we make use of our skill, we make use of our mind, and we make use of the time to learn something. I'm very happy that really COVID-19 comes in because it begins on me to reflect on things. I begin to look back. Actually, I'm also writing my memoir. I have started 3 chapters already, and hopefully that, if circuit breakers still go on for another 2 months, that means that I will finish 2 books. So it's very, very productive, very productive. If without COVID-19, I don't think I would have able to even write a chapter of this book. So ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you. I will ask you to push yourself to do something that's productive, something that you find it very hard to do. Just do it. As Nike said, just do it. Nothing can stop you. It's only you yourself that can stop you. I believe that my panelists also have a lot of things to tell us that, how they have succeeded, how they thrived during this period. I believe that we all can learn from one another. So this is my experience telling you thriving and succeeding for the COVID-19. Back to you, Ban-Seng.
Thank you, Ernest. Brilliant. Can I have you to share with us, because you are the region advisor, and I believe your territory covers all the way the subcontinent of India as well as Southeast Asia. Can you share with us your experiences of what the club has done and whatever we could learn from these people in terms of their experiences?
Sure.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Ban-Seng, for this wonderful question. It's really a coincidence that I'm talking about it right now. I released a video today which was about 1 degree more. At 99 degrees, water is very hot, and at 100 degrees, just 1 more degree, it is boiling and it becomes steam. And it is this steam that makes it powerful enough to run even a locomotive. Now, if you think about what this has a relation to what we are talking about, is how the COVID-19 has affected all of us. And trust me, when I speak, I'm speaking from personal experience. And as a leader, leadership is nothing but a continuous learning experience. And it is said that true leaders emerge in the time of crisis. The greatest example is this current situation. The COVID pandemic pushed the entire Toastmasters organization into an uncharted territory. However, the best part about it was that the pandemic showed how we can be open to the ideas of leaders and members, how to build trust, how to build engagement, and how to come up with innovative solutions and to question the status quo where we thought that we could not move forward. But trust me, dear friends, when I say this, slowly but steadily, online meetings, contests, everything is a reality today. Toastmasters as a fraternity, we always believed in the fact that in-person meetings are the best. But the learning and best practices were shared from the rest of the world. I remember it was about Chinese New Year when the initial news of COVID started coming up across the Toastmasters fraternity. My colleague in Region 14, Gauri, she was working with the clubs in China, and there was a lot of concern and anxiety of how do we do it, what needs to be done. And they were the first responders in terms of identifying that there is a challenge and it is going to last forever. Not forever, for long. And when I look back and reflect, Toastmasters have actually embraced this COVID as fish to water. And trust me, while it's not easy to say that we are comfortable with the online meetings, we are adapting to it, we have taken it very graciously. Across the world, when I look at it, one of the things that Toastmasters would look forward to was the contests. And contest is all about a huge turnout. It's about people, there is applause, there is cheering. And being a part of District 98 in Mumbai, I'm happy to share that the TCS Maitri Toastmasters Club in Mumbai started with an online contest with minimum available guidelines that were available. It was like a pilot to see, can we really do a contest online? And I'm so happy to share that that initial step it's like a stepping stone for all of us at Toastmasters. Today, we can say that we are a truly global organization. I just need to look up and see, okay, I have a free slot at 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock India time. Is there a Toastmasters meeting anywhere in the world? I don't have to worry about travel. I don't have to worry about planning in advance. The best part is each and every club in the Toastmasters fraternity have started adopting the online as you know, a matter of fact that this is the way of life for us. There are challenges, but I would say I would look at it from a completely different lens of saying that life is good. When crisis strikes, it's about how we as individuals, we as members, we as volunteers look forward to see how we can serve the members, the benefit that can be passed on to develop communication and leadership can continue online, and that has given a new thrust to the movement. And I believe, and sincerely I am looking forward to seeing many more members benefit from Toastmasters and become better leaders and better communicators. So yes, while the physical presence was something that we always look forward to, it is the online meetings that have changed the way we look at Toastmasters. And had it not been for COVID-19, probably I would not have been a part of this session today. We would not even have had thought about having people from New York, Singapore, India, all in one forum without being physically present. So yes, challenges were there, we overcame it, and I would say we have learned to swim past rough tides. Over to you, Ban-Seng.
You're brilliant. That's a good sharing. Interesting indeed. One of the comments that has been passed about this COVID situation is this: we are far apart, but yet we are so much closer through online meetings that we have. So video conferencing has brought us so much closer. And today we have, of course, as I said, Mark LaVergne, all the way from New York. And I'm sure he's going to share with us what has been happening in terms of the American scene. Mark?
Well, thank you, Ban-Seng, and thank you all of the Rotarians and Toastmasters that are joining us here today. When I look back at the last 3 months, I think we've gone through 3 phases. The first was fear. Definitely everyone was afraid. How is this going to affect our lives? Were friends even going to be affected in terms of their health? We went from fear to adaptation, and I think now we're in a third phase, and that's the phase of excitement. I can remember it was March the 1st, I think, when people in New York began to realize that we were in very serious trouble. And by March 10th, most of the public meetings had begun to end. I know for Toastmasters that was true. I think for I've checked in with some of our Rotary friends here in New York. By March 10th, that was pretty much the end of our public meetings. And for about a week or two, we lost meetings. We didn't have meetings, and we were very concerned. In my club, we have a member who's a manager at Cisco. He wanted us to use WebEx, but we all voted on using Zoom, and soon we adapted. We didn't know how to do Zoom meetings. We didn't know what we were doing. It was very, we were clumsy. We made a lot of mistakes with the technology, but within a few weeks, we adapted. We got really good at it. We learned all the pluses and the minuses, and then we moved into that third phase, and that's excitement. A recognition that, in a way, we're learning new things. As already been mentioned, here we have a meeting right now involving folks from 4 different countries: South Asia, Southeast Asia, Eastern United States. It's an amazing thing. In the old days, pre-COVID-19, we'd have to get on a plane, we'd have to spend a lot of money, we'd have to go here and there. But now, through the wonders of technology, we're able to do this through Zoom. My concern, actually, is I'm not sure that when the pandemic ends, that people will be all that eager to go back to the way things were. And I think, if anything, this pandemic has prepared us for what were going to be inevitable changes in the global economy going into the next 20 years. We had heard about telecommuting. We had heard about online meetings. In Toastmasters, there had been a debate over the last 5 years about whether our annual business meetings should be online so that delegates from around the world could Zoom in. And people said, no, we can't do that. Well, guess what? Our business meeting this summer is going to be online. A lot of people were very skeptical about online Toastmaster meetings before the pandemic, but now we've grown to like it. And I think, like I say, I'm convinced that I belong, for example, my club, because of the pandemic, we've learned to use, we have extra meetings. We have meetings now that are held at the convenience of members. We traditionally have met on a Saturday morning, but now we're holding meetings in the evening to make it easier for people. We're getting more done. We're getting more production in terms of members growing in their skills and giving speeches. So fear became adaptation. Now it's excitement. And I'm convinced the fourth level, the fourth phase, will be regret about going back to the old ways of doing things. And so this has been the excitement for us. I think, too, that this is affecting commercial real estate. This is affecting the convention and meeting industry because companies are seeing cost savings from using telemarketing and having teleconferencing and working from home. I think Toastmasters International and probably Rotary as well will look at cost savings for how we meet in regional and global meetings. And it could very well be that 5 years from now, the way we did things in 2019 will no longer be the case, that the COVID-19 will teach us how to do new things in better ways, in more cost-effective ways, bringing people together from all over the world through the magic of the internet, through the magic of Zoom and audio and video communication. So yes, fear, adaptation, but now excitement. And I think that for us is the way we look at this situation. Back to you, Ban-Seng. I know we have other topics. We want to definitely get to them.
Thank you, Mark. Can I have all the 4 people together? Clarence, can I have 4 people? I want to ask this question, and this is about recruitment and retention. All right. In this society today, in the COVID environment, I think life is tough. I want to ask all of you, quite quickly to share with us, what do you think we could do to make sure that people stays and new people comes in? over. Whoever is ready, you can just answer the question.
Okay, I should go first. As what everybody say, adaptation is the way to grow. Darwin's theory, you survive by adaptation, isn't it? So we know that if we don't adapt, we perish. According to Daniel Rex, this period, we lost about 10% membership. It doesn't matter because people adapt a bit slow. You give us another couple of months, the membership will grow again. In our district, we know that we lost, I think -6% only. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. As long as the people begin to like Zoom, they like online meeting, they will come back. And you also attract new people to come in. Like right now it's raining outside. I don't feel like going to the meeting. Now you can join the meeting online. Isn't it? Especially New York, rain, it's not only raining, snowing, hailstorm, so cold to get out. Wow, stay in the warm of the room and join the Zoom meeting. So we have many ways. The mindset. If the mind is correct, you feel that I'm going to learn something now. Just open the computer and I meet everybody. Definitely, I will see that the growth in membership will come. Maybe not now, maybe a couple of months time. Because right now, people talk about Zoom so easy. So now they go online and say, hey, which state or which country or you which club having the meeting today, tonight, tomorrow, whatever it is. I have a friend in Singapore. Actually, this lady is joining the meeting, 3 meetings a day, You see that she enjoyed it. So how many meetings? And being a guest, you don't even have to pay. But then if you go to a physical meeting in Singapore as a guest, you pay $10, $15, $20. So there is a positive way of looking at it. Everything is depends on your mindset and also how the club publicize and promote the meeting. I believe that it is matter of time. The change will come and acceleration of growth will come.
Thank you, Ernest. Thank you. Any others? Mark, okay, Brian, Brilliant, would you like to continue? Yes, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. So challenges are very different. While in-person meetings gave me a direct view of how people are responding to what I am saying, I could change and then, adjust myself accordingly. The advantages, Ernest has already said, the comfort of not leaving your home, one of the biggest pull factors for membership. And today, what I see is there is a flush of a lot of meeting invites all across the Facebook, WhatsApp groups, and every social media platform that we are a part of. And trust me, when I say this, we are probably entering into a zone where we will soon need a specific function of profession called as Zoom de-addiction center.
Right.
As we are almost in 5 to 6 Zoom meetings on a daily basis, the best part is it is not tiring as it would have been physically. I remember when I was an area director and or division director, I had to physically visit and I had to make a note in my calendar saying this is the day, and probably I would take a day off from work and plan to go to each and every meeting, which meant that I'm sacrificing my professional life for this. Today, the flexibility is so much that I can stay in the comfort of my home. I can plan the schedule and look at what we can do online. We are inviting members to come and experience Toastmasters online. Trust me, it's very easy to say that in-person meetings are good and we get a lot of members walking in. But if I do a comparison, and I'm not talking of exact numbers, but asking someone to be on an online meeting compared to asking someone to visit a meeting personally, I'm sure most of the clubs would say that there is a marked increase in the numbers. And the best part about it is what just recently happened right now is kids. My son just popped into the meeting. It adds to the reality of what situation is like. Sometimes pets come into the meeting and it just helps bring in the fact that yes, we are all living in this borderless world where there is a thin line between family, professional, and Toastmasters. And it's okay if a family member walks into the meeting and says, hey, this is how it is. It's reality for us. We are living a life which is real. It is not something which what we call as completely enclosed, that everything is soundproof, nothing comes out. In a real time Toastmasters meeting, it would be a sin, I would say, to cross talk. But today, while someone else is speaking, I could probably be telling my wife, or my wife would be talking to me, my son would come. That is the reality. I'm a coach at a club, and this is the experience that I'm sharing. We faced a lot of challenge when we were meeting in person to get people attend the meeting physically. We were struggling at around 8 members for a very long time. And I would say, thankfully, after we went online, today we have a fixed membership base of 13. We have become a select distinguished club, which is a recognition in Toastmasters, which says that you've done something better. At the same time, what I feel is, earlier we used to have 3 or 4 members attend the meeting. Now I see at least 15 members in the online meeting. So things have changed, and the online flexibility of just being in the comfort of your home and talking to people. And I would say, if you are a shy person, you can continue to stay mute even if the table topics master invites you and say that, okay, I didn't hear you, I couldn't speak. But yes, you can experience Toastmasters in a completely different manner online.
Thank you. Mark, I think you have similar experience that you want to share. I think the educational awards have just gone up, right? Mark?
Yes, in my home club that I co-founded, it'll be 20 years this month. We're right now at number 5 in the world in terms of educational awards earned by our members. And one of the reasons that we've done so well is that because of Zoom and because of these video communication technologies, we're able to have, in addition to our weekly Saturday meetings, we're having additional meetings. In fact, we had one yesterday. Let's just say, we won't say last night. We had one yesterday where we had 7 projects, 5 speeches. We had 7 projects completed, and that was an extra meeting. And these extra meetings, in addition to our regular meetings, are very important. And I suspect the same thing is true for Rotary, for some of our Rotary friends that are Zooming in today, that they're able to get more done, have more committee meetings, more planning meetings for projects, for community service projects through Zoom. And I think Brillian, I think, or was it Ernest who mentioned so correctly that for district officers in both organizations, it was always a challenge to give up a work day, to give up a personal day. In some of our larger geographic districts, I see David Hughes, I think, is on the line from Australia. If you were an area director or I forget the equivalent for Rotary, and you had to make visits, 100 miles away, 50 miles away, you were definitely traveling. You were giving up a day or more just to get to 100 miles away to visit a club. Now that is all taken care of. I will say this, though, one concern I have in the short term is that for our Toastmaster clubs that are built around the workplace, we call them corporate clubs, government agency clubs, but workplace Toastmaster clubs, they have been very badly affected, at least in the New York area, because the physical workplace has disintegrated, if you will, as a place for people to come together. Those clubs have been hit very badly. On the other hand, our community clubs, their opportunities have gone up because now the physical boundaries have been shrunk. They've been eliminated. And literally the entire world is our oyster for community clubs. Anyone can join anywhere. I recently was invited to join the club number 1, the one that was founded in 1924 by Ralph Dr. Smedley. And I've been going to their meetings every Tuesday night. So for community clubs, the opportunities are increased. For corporate clubs, I don't know that we've figured out quite how we're going to solve that. Maybe Brillian, you have some good stories to share. Maybe Ernest as well in Singapore. That's pretty much it for now. I know we have other topics and we're running short of time. So back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So what we are saying is have new challenges that we have to face, and we have to look at it and see how we can overcome that together. Yes. The next topic that I think is really very interesting is really about our Rotary Toastmasters Alliance. Can Clarence please show us the first video on this particular?
Hello everyone, my name is Santosh and I am a Toastmaster for the past 3 years, and for the current year I am serving as an area director in Navi Mumbai, which means that I am a servant leader helping out in the Toastmasters movement in Navi Mumbai region. I have a small question for you. How will the Rotary Toastmasters Alliance benefit Toastmasters? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The questions is really directed to Toastmasters as an individual as opposed to Toastmasters as an organization. Because if you look at it from the Rotary perspective, definitely we will be able to learn a lot in terms of public speaking skills. In terms of deliverable that we have actually done with the Toastmasters in the Alliance, Toastmasters is supposed to develop a total of 8 courses for Rotary, 4 of which are on communication and 4 of which are on leadership. But so what's happening is that from an organization point of view, both of us will have greater exposure, greater reach, so to speak. So I think that's nothing that we can really talk about because I think both are win-win situation. What we want to talk about is really from the specific of an individual Toastmaster. What do you think would he get and how can we expand this so that they can actually say that wow, this is a great deal. Toastmasters, Rotary Alliance, Rotary Toastmasters, we want to get involved. How can we get involved? How can we be excited about it? Who wants to start?
Okay, I start first.
Good.
When 2 of the best organizations in the world willing to work hand in hand, this will not only benefit individual organizations, benefit mankind of the world. Just like when Russia and America decide to work together, they will benefit the mankind. If China and America are willing to work together, the whole world benefit. I think the alliances, the synergy, the partnership give us not only challenges, the benefit, and also many of the great things will come in days and years to come. I believe because Rotary can show the Toastmasters about the heart, the service, and rendering altruistic services. Toastmasters can show Rotary a little bit about public speaking, speak from the heart, without script, I mean, they can recruit more members by speaking to the community and join the Rotary movement. I believe that it is the best thing in the world, and I look forward to see more Rotarians join Toastmasters, more Toastmasters join Rotarians, and how they can work together and benefit the community. Back to you.
Thank you. Any others? Brilliant or Mark? Who would you like to start?
Brilliant. Go ahead, Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. This is very, very interesting times, and we already spoke about how Rotarians and Toastmasters have started logging into meetings, and it's like we are depending on each other. We are laughing together. We are learning together. Never before have we had a globally platform like what we have today. And it's very clear that we are all in it together, and collaboration is the only way forward. If you look at it, Rotary has the biggest network of individuals across the world, and Toastmasters offers the best learning program for any individual. Coming from a human resource background, I can definitely vouch for it. I've been a part of human resources and experienced multiple trainings. And when I say this, it is personal experience. So, when I looked at it from a synergies perspective, Rotary and Toastmasters have a lot of synergies. Rotary and Toastmasters speak about excellence. Rotary and Toastmasters is about service. Rotary and Toastmasters is all about integrity. It's all about what we are talking, each and every aspect of the values, the core values that we have, while it may not come out as evident in the Rotary function as it comes out in Toastmasters that these are our core values, but that synergy exists. And that is why I feel this is a beautiful alliance that we are looking at. Speaking with experience, for the last about 5 years now, when I was the district director-elect, I was invited by the Rotaract district in India to conduct a program on leadership and self-development based on the Toastmasters Youth Leadership Program. People were so excited that they wanted to be a part of Toastmasters, but at that time there was initial reluctance. Oh, should we do it? Should we not do it? But I'm so happy to share this. Even before the alliance was announced, the newest the district director equivalent of Rotaract, that is the district Rotaract representative, approached me and said that this year we want to look at something jointly with Toastmasters, where I want to see Rotaractors benefit from it. And I think that is beautiful. It is something where I personally believe that if two organizations that have shared synergies bring in their aspects of network and the learning together, it can help and probably benefit millions of people. And it is not something which we can just count on our fingertips and say this is how it has changed. Every element of what we do at Toastmasters, every element of service at Rotary has a different impact. But if they can come together and work collaboratively on achieving the 8 programs, modules that you said, I think it is just a stepping stone towards saying that there's more to come. Watch out. Back to you. Thanks.
Mark?
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay? Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ernest. Thank you, Brillian, for great comments there. Brillian, you just mentioned, I think, the synergy between the two organizations, and that's, I think, quite correct. There's a kind of a complementarity, sort of a yin and yang or whatever, but definitely a complementarity. It was Lark Doley who put it very brilliantly, I think, when she said that Toastmasters learn how to tell stories, and Rotarians have great stories to tell. Each of the membership groups have different strengths. Now, that's the theory, and that's the broad philosophy. One has the talent at telling stories, the other has great stories to tell, and the two can work together to teach each other skills to advance both organizations moving forward. For Toastmasters specifically, I think these programs that they've created, we've already rolled out the first 2 in the month of March. There'll be 6 more educational modules based on our pathways that will be rolled out in the rest of the year in English only. Next year, there'll be in, I think, 8 other languages, all 8 of them. How does this help Toastmasters? One, it builds our brand awareness. I think as Ernest pointed out, we're looking at 1.2 million Rotarians versus 350,000 Toastmasters. That 1.3, and I don't know if that includes the Rotaract membership, but that builds our brand awareness. That makes a lot of people in Rotary say, oh yeah, I heard about Toastmasters, but now they actually get to do it. They actually get to use, basically, our pathway projects are adapted into those 8 modules. They get to do it, and their appetite is whetted. And they say, I want more. And we say, sure, you can come to a Toastmasters meeting and really practice what you began. For Toastmasters also, if you look at our 11 paths, all 11 of our paths involve projects where developing leadership projects from the beginning to the end are emphasized, whether it's a high performance leadership, which is either a requirement or an elective, I think at least level 5. Level 4, you have a lot of other projects that are involved in doing community service. And for many years, there was concern that so many of our HPL projects, I used to see this, they were essentially Toastmaster activities. Serving as, I remember years ago, somebody said, oh, you can serve as a club treasurer, and you can make that an HPL project. I mean, those were kind of thin. But now members in Toastmasters, by getting involved with Rotary, doing Rotary community service projects, those will make excellent opportunities for doing and completing projects in the Toastmasters program. So that's very, very important. And those are now a couple of things that Rotarians and Toastmasters can do to build this alliance. One is encourage exchange programs, have visitor exchanges between Rotary clubs and Toastmaster clubs, have speaker exchanges between Rotary clubs and Toastmaster clubs, even have a joint meeting now that we have Zoom technology. And finally, I think it's very important for district directors and Toastmasters and their counterpart district governors and Rotary to have summit meetings once a year, get together for a lunch for over a beer and talk about how the two organizations in their localities can work together and build this alliance moving forward. So those are some of the things I've seen. And back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you, Mark. I just want to correct you to tell you that in terms of the Rotary organization, we have 1.2 million Rotarians and about 280,000 Rotaractors. Wow. So it's almost like 1.5 million network that you could actually work together.
Massive.
For Ernest, I just want to say something that in Singapore, myself being a Rotarian as well as a Toastmasters, we actually work very closely together when we actually work and promote the World Speech Day. And many Ernest, you can quite quickly say about World Speech Day, that's a speaking platform in which Rotarian and Toastmasters can actually use it to reach out to the world. Ernest.
Actually, World Speech Day is an example of how the present Rotary and Toastmasters work together. So World Speech Day started about 4 or 5 years ago with a guy from England, and then I met him together in the conference. He called me up. We said, Ernest, can we do together? I said, why not? And now, after 5 years, we have 120 countries participating for World Speech Day. And why? Because World Speech Day is about speaking. And in Singapore, we have 12 hours of continuous speaking for the last few years, non-stop. And then some countries or some cities, some schools, they have 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, doesn't matter. But then in Singapore, many of the speakers are from Rotary movement because they like to share about what Rotary have done as a service organization. So every year through Ban-Seng, we attracted many Rotarians come and share. Of course, we limit the time. Everybody speaks 5 to 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, so that we get more people to speak. So World Speech Day affords the opportunity for people to share with the whole world. Now the World Speech Day has online now. They use YouTube, and actually, when you're speaking, people are watching from other countries and say, hey, I like your speech. Hey, I like what you say. Or I disagree what you say. So this is exactly what we are doing now, COVID-19, online. So World Speech Day is a really example of the synergy between Rotary and Toastmasters. And actually, in Singapore, we work together with YMCA too. YMCA give us an auditorium, give us a venue. That's why we can conduct 12 hours, 15 hours World Speech Day.
Thank you.
Great
I
job.
think everything must come to an end. And we have actually a lot of material that we have actually discussed. And I think it's wonderful that we have this opportunity. I think we can actually continue and explore and expand how we could actually work together and how we could cooperate going forward. It must be the noise coming in from New York, right?
It's morning here, so people are up and about and doing work, so I apologize.
I see, no worries. So before we say goodnight, I thought I want everybody to have a closing remark, some word of advice that you would like to leave with us to the audience so that they can consider and ponder and how we could work together, how we could continue to strive, and how we could continue to succeed in COVID-19. Ernest.
COVID-19, actually, it is the tip of an iceberg. What you see is very little. What you feel, the impact is so big. So the synergy between Rotary and Toastmasters is also the tip of an iceberg initially now. In a couple of years' time, then you can see, wow, not only the tip, actually the iceberg is so big, it can destroy Titanic. So ladies and gentlemen, what we see now is the iceberg. The impact is very big for the next few generations. Back to you.
Thank you. Brilliant. Your closing remarks and advice.
Yeah, thank you so much. In fact, I would like to acknowledge all those who have been posting on Facebook. Thank you for being here. We have read your comments and it's really encouraging. In summary and in closing, I would say I encourage each and everyone, if you are a Rotarian, to attend a Toastmasters club. If you are a Toastmaster, attend a Rotary club. Look out for opportunities to conduct workshops. Encourage members to participate in enhancing and building their communication and leadership. I'm reminded about the World Economic Forum, which released a skill study saying which are the skills that are relevant for 2020. And it seems like it's tailor-made for us at this point of time, where we have complex problem solving, creativity, critical thinking, decision making, working in ambiguity. If you look at how the Toastmasters program functions as a volunteer-led program, all of these can be experienced. Building competencies, my dear friends, Rotarians, Toastmasters, and anyone who's joined in, it's not an option. It's a mandate. It's like breathing. You need to breathe to live. And I would say you need to enhance your competencies to survive the post-COVID scenario. Just like it is said that you need to continue to sharpen your saw, become a better storyteller, learn how to say it effectively, build confidence, and most important is practice in a positive and a supportive learning experience which is given at Toastmasters. Stay safe. Everyone is excited to get out of home and meet people, but I would say leverage technology, not just stay safe, but build on our communication and leadership through participation. We are truly global, and we know for sure that each one of you can benefit. Thank you, and back to you, Ban-Seng.
That's wonderful. Beautiful summary. Mark, would you like to do the summary as well?
Well, again, thank you for having us. Thank you to all of the folks that have zoomed in and Brillian has pointed out, have typed in their questions. Hopefully we can get back to everyone with answers to some of your questions. I think it's really three phases: anxiety, adaptation, advancement. If you look at what our encounter with COVID-19 is somewhat can teach us how to deal with this encounter with this new Rotary Toastmaster Alliance. As was the case with COVID-19, there was considerable anxiety all over the world and all over our districts, but we adapted. Now we're advancing with excitement by learning, by studying, by talking to people around the world, by learning what works in one place and adapting it to our own location, and then coming to thrive in this new environment, this new COVID-19 environment, learning how to communicate and take advantage, as Brillian has said, of the wonderful opportunities. Same thing with the Rotary Toastmasters Alliance. I know there have been some questions raised. What's this all about? Both in the Toastmaster community and perhaps in Rotary as well. But as we adapt, as we try new things, as we create those exchange programs between clubs in Toastmasters and chapters in Rotary, as we encourage summit meetings between district governors and Rotary and district directors and Toastmasters, as we build this process, we'll go from anxiety to adaptation, and definitely as we move the alliance forward for Rotary and Toastmasters, we will move from anxiety, adaptation to actual advancement and excitement and growth and development. I'm excited for the future, and I know we're going to learn from our situation and really make things great moving forward. Back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you. I just want to leave you with this word, everybody who's viewing, and as well as to the panelists. If COVID-19 was the perfect storm, and I would say that it is a perfect storm, because it changes the whole world, it changes the whole thinking. Never have it happened before, where everything ceases, literally.
Yes.
Now, if that was a storm, normally what would happen is that the fisherman would start to repair his net before they go out again to sea. So I'd like to leave everyone with this thought. What are you doing during this perfect storm? Are you preparing yourself to be better? Are you adapting yourself so that you could be able to challenge whatever challenges that you may face in the future? That's the thought I want to leave it with you, and we'll see how you could adapt and become a very, very much better person. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you.
So everybody, thank you very much. I hope to see you again. It's been a wonderful opportunity for you to share thoughts. From Singapore, Dr. Ernest Chen; from Mumbai, India, Dr. Brillian; and of course, my friend from New York, past international director, Mark LaVergne. Thank you, and see all of you. Bye-bye. Till we meet again.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.